Hey there, everybody. I am King 5 meteorologist Leah Pezzetti on this Thursday evening. It's just after 6 p.m. as of right now, and we're taking you to a couple looks around Puget Sound. A gorgeous Thursday evening for us. We did start with some morning clouds, but that has cleared nicely. A lot of sunshine, some birds flying through that camera there. But yeah, it is absolutely spectacular out there. Temperatures so far for the day have only hit the low 70s, and that's cooler than normal for this time of year. The left column is what we've hit so far for the day. Low 70s in Bellingham, at SEA, and Olympia as well. But you can see low to mid 70s. We're slowly warming these average highs up. That's normal for this time of year. So SeaTac usually sees a high of 77. Same thing as Olympia. We've only been in the low 70s for today. So cooler than normal temperatures. That is going to change here for the foreseeable future. Temperatures are on the rise. Now I want to tell you a little bit more about average. So average days that we usually see a temperature 80 degrees or warmer each year is 28. So we usually see 28 degrees each year that are warmer at or warmer than 80 degrees. As far as 90 degrees is concerned, we usually average 3 days of the year at or above 90 degrees. Usually just one at or above 95 and no at or above 100. We do see 100 degrees, but it's rare, so low in fact that we can't even average that in. But so far for this year, we have already seen 11 days at or above 80 degrees. And for the next 7, I am forecasting temperatures at or above 80 degrees. So 1 week from now, we will add 7 days to that. So we are slowly chugging along. And that one day that we hit 90 degrees was back in June. Our 7-day forecast does show a day to add that we will hit 90 degrees. So we will add another digit to that, make it 2 days observed at or above 90 degrees. All of that is happening in the next week. So as we take a look at that 7-day forecast, we see it every day looks to see 80 degrees or warmer. Tuesday and Wednesday are our warmest days of the next 7. So because of that, we have made those first alert weather days. We've already issued that because of these warm temperatures, because this does look to be the warmest day of the year so far. When we hit that 90-degree threshold in June, it was just an even 90 degrees. So this will be the warmest day so far of the year once we surpass 90. We'll get there in just a moment, but first let's talk about the next couple of days, because we are going to be warming things up into the 80s. 80s will be widespread across western Washington tomorrow for many of us. Not so much up to the north. We'll still hold on to relatively cooler temperatures up there. So around the San Juans, we'll be in the low 70s. For Skagit and Whatcom counties, we'll be in the 70s with some low 80s popping up as you head inland. Island County also a little bit cooler, right around that 70-degree threshold. Most of Snohomish County is given 80 degrees, a run for its money. Low 80s expected. Kitsap and King counties for your Friday. We're looking at temperatures in the upper 70s, well into those low 80s. So yes, you will feel the difference. Tomorrow it'll be a lot warmer. Same thing down to the south. Pierce and Thurston counties are looking at mid 80s expected. Puyallup creeping into the upper 80s as well. As we head farther south, if you're chugging along the I-5, mid 80s are expected as well. If you want cooler temperatures, head to the coast where low 60s are expected for your Friday highs. Same thing along the Olympic Peninsula, the coast looking at those low to mid 60s. Strait of Juan de Fuca looking at those low to mid 70s. Hood Canal looking at low 80s, so a lot warmer over there. And the Olympics looking at 70s. I also want to point out Eastern Washington. Eastern Washington is typically warmer, drier, and we're going to see that trend as well into tomorrow. We're bringing back the 90s, and this is all just the beginning of that warm up. We'll see temperatures continuing to warm into next week. Here's a breakdown of your day tomorrow around the Seattle metro area, but this is true for most of us. Lots of sunshine across the board, a few passing clouds here and there, but really sunny, nice conditions. Temperatures will stay in the 70s for most of our afternoon hours, and then eventually making their way into those 80s for areas that will hit the 80-degree marker. And that's about where we'll sit for the next couple of days. Sunday looks like the warmer of the 2 weekend days, but both days will offer a lot of sunshine. Then as we head into next week, that is when we're really going to see temperatures warming up. And Tuesday and Wednesday are our first alert weather days. Let's take a look at why. So Tuesday, Wednesday is when we'll see those warmest conditions. And one of the biggest things we're keeping an eye on is not just hot days, but also warm nights. Temperatures will not get a lot of relief in those overnight hours. So everybody should start planning now. If you haven't plugged in that AC for the year, if you don't have one, get it now because you will want to find ways to stay cool, stay hydrated, because yeah, we will have a couple days there that are warm. Let's show you those highs for Tuesday. At this point, we're looking at 80s even along the coast. That's usually where we find that relief. Not so much next week. Same thing for our higher elevation. Stevens Pass, Snoqualmie Pass hovering right around that 80-degree threshold. It will be warm. Around the Sound, widespread 80s, and we'll start to introduce some 90s down to the south on Tuesday. Then once we head into our overnight hours, we really don't get that relief. Overnight lows for Tuesday night into Wednesday morning into the 60s, mid 60s expected. So a lot of times we open up those windows, we let that fresh air in. Yeah, it'll still feel better than 80s and 90s, but we usually see lows in the 50s. So you won't see as much cooling overnight. Then we head into Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be even warmer. At this point, we'll lift a lot more of those 90s even farther north of that. We're looking at 90s likely King County and southward. So it is going to be a warm day on Wednesday. Same thing for our higher elevations. We're in the mid to upper 80s. It is going to be toasty. The only good news with this one is that it is relatively short-lived. We'll cool things down into next week. Another thing I want to flag for you is that as we have these hot conditions moving in and with our weather up in the sky, on the ground conditions are very dry as well. We just got our updated drought monitor. So this is last week's, but I want you to notice we have a good amount of yellow over on the Olympic Peninsula. You see our orange stretches down into the foothills, but it ends right about here. Now look at what happens when I show you the one that was just released today. Yeah, we see that orange extend farther down. So that's the worst drought that we're seeing in Western Washington right now, which is considered severe drought. So severe drought is now for a good chunk of the Cascades down into the south. And that little bit of yellow here, which is the lowest marker, the lowest threshold for drought status, abnormally dry, has now been stepped up into moderate drought, so worsened. So yeah, that's the situation, is we're seeing conditions on the ground drying out even more. That drought status is worsening, and on top of that, we have this hot, dry weather that is heading our way. So fire risk at this point of the year is always something we're concerned about, but especially when weather conditions like this are at play, when we have those dry fuels on the ground, everyone's got to do their part to stay smart, stay alert, and of course try to avoid that fire start. And of course also find ways to stay cool, because temperatures are going to be hot next week. Once